The man had just contracted 10 divine-level magical beasts, but because the energy contained within the magical beasts was too terrifying, the man was instead devoured by that energy. But just then, the energy within his body suddenly exploded. His consciousness gradually blurred. When he opened his eyes, he had actually returned to the day of his talent awakening, and in this life, I was reborn with 10 divine-level magical beasts, destined to stand at the pinnacle of the world. But just as I was rejoicing, my girlfriend Wang Qian's voice sounded in my ear. Chen Feng, let us break up. You should have seen it too. I have awakened a B-rank beast taming talent. From now on, we are no longer people of the same world. Do not come looking for me again. Just as Wang Qian was feeling smug, the boy beside her chimed in. Chen Feng, if you still love Wang Qian, let her go. With her talent, she has a chance to participate in the city-level beast taming competition. Do not hold back her future. These words made Wang Qian raise her head a little higher. She also felt that she and I were now people of two different worlds. The boy who chimed in was called Dufan. He was Wang Qian's loyal little fanboy. Brother Feng, let us go. Then another female voice interrupted my thoughts. She looked away when she spoke. I turned to look at the girl. Her name was Wang Yuyan. She was usually very introverted and not good with words, but her talent rank was A rank. Looking at Wang Yuyan, I nodded. Chen Feng, what do you mean? Do you not want me to give you a chance anymore? Wang Qian watched me and Wang Yuyan walk away side by side, and suddenly grew angry. Chen Feng, are you even a man? You actually cheated on Wang Qian. To their words, I remained calm. We have already broken up. You said that yourself. So whatever I do has nothing to do with you, Wang Qian. And you, useless simp, I have already fixed your car for you. Whether you can drive it is your own problem. Having transmigrated here, I would not indulge them. And now there were more important things to do. I remember that because I did not awaken a beast taming talent at school. My mother took it upon herself to sell my father's keepsake. That was a very rare unknown beast bone. After selling the bone, she bought me a bottle of low-rank awakening potion. And now that I had been reborn, I no longer needed to awaken a beast taming talent because there were 10 terrifying magical beasts inside me. Each one was a top-tier existence. In my previous life, after rising to a 10-star beast tamer, the era of demonic beasts descended, and we were beaten back step by step by the monsters of the beast domain. Forced to do so, I directly severed my 10 beast tamer contracts and switched to contracting magical beasts. There was no choice. Either die or switch to contracting magical beasts. And those beast tamer contracts not only had emotional bonds with me, but also blood connections. Severing them was like cutting off my own limbs, so enduring both physical and mental damage. I became the most ruthless person in the beast taming world at that time. No one knew what I had lost, but from then on, everyone only saw a merciless Chen Feng who killed gods who stood in his way. I had planned to register for a beast tamer license and go to the beast domain alone to make money and take off. But now, to quickly get the money to redeem the beast bone, I decided to apply for the special recruitment of the Beast Taming University. After passing the exam, I would receive a 10 million scholarship. The special recruitment center was an arena structured like a bird's nest, through a long passage. I arrived at the registration room. Hello, I want to take the Beast Tamer special recruitment assessment. I looked at the registration room and said to the teacher who was about to leave work, this year's special recruitment registration has already ended. Come back next year. The registration teacher did not even look at me. He did not want to work overtime. I was about to say something when I heard a voice from behind getting closer. What? You forgot to make a reservation for me. It is already 3:55. What if that teacher leaves early? There is a brother ahead of me. I wonder whose family he is from. The signal is not good here. I will hang up first. The person on the phone was speaking loudly enough for the registration teacher to hear clearly. Brother, what is going on? You came this late too. The young man came up behind me, acting as if we were already familiar. I turned to look at the young man, and then I was startled. This kid, I knew him too well, even though he looked younger. I still had a deep impression of him. His name was Li Eriyang. He was the youngest son of the Li family. In my previous life, our fates crossed. During a beast domain hunting event, we both liked to show off. At first, because Li Eriyang came from a prominent family, and his talent was the highest, S rank. I could never outdo him, but we also appreciated each other. At that time, we were both young, and often exchanged experiences on showing off. At this moment, the registration teacher had already sat back down at his desk. You two students, come take the test quickly. There is still one assessment teacher who has not left. You two came just in time. The teacher's expression was normal. He had heard Li Eriyang's words clearly. He did not want to lose his job. This job was his retirement plan, with excellent benefits. I entered the registration room first. Li Eriyang snapped out of it and quickly followed. Seeing the two had filled out the forms, the registration teacher looked over them carefully. Chen Feng, right. D-rank beast taming talent. You want to challenge the highest difficulty assessment. The teacher held my registration form, looked at me, and confirmed again with some confusion. Yes, I nodded calmly. The highest difficulty assessment was extremely dangerous. You had to survive for 5 minutes. Under the attack of 4 1-star high-rank demon beasts. You have D-rank talent. Your Beast Tamer might be instantly killed. Do you know that? The teacher warned. No problem. But if my Beast Tamer accidentally kills them all, do I have to pay compensation? I asked back. No, you do not. If you really can fight 1 against 4, that is your skill. The registration teacher did not show any sign of mocking me. Teacher, I also want to take the highest difficulty, Li Eriang said as he handed his registration form to the teacher. All right, I will contact the assessment teacher right now to prepare the battle beasts for you two. Then Li Eriang quickly walked to the arena and shouted, Hellfire Bear. As Li Eriang spoke, a light gate connecting to the beast taming space appeared. A 5-meter-tall giant bear slowly walked out. Its presence was imposing. The giant bear's brown fur had flame-red patterns, looking very extraordinary. With the appearance of the Hellfire Bear, 4 tall beasts also slowly walked out from the other side of the arena. 2 bear-shaped beasts, 1 tiger-shaped beast and 1 wolf-shaped beast. These 4 beasts were all over 6 meters tall, looking even more formidable than the Hellfire Bear. Li Eriang's expression was worried, and the Hellfire Bear was being beaten all over the place by the 4 beasts. The Hellfire Bear used its thick bear paw to swat away a pouncing beast, then ran away without looking back. Li Eriang, you are too overconfident. A man in sunglasses appeared, followed by Wang Qian and Du Fan. The speaker was called Liu Yu. He had also awakened an S-rank talent. Liu Yu, I am doing the top difficulty. Why are you making sarcastic remarks? Li Eriang's gaze was still fixed on the battle inside. He did not dare to look away. Now 4.5 minutes had passed. He just needed to hold on for 30 more seconds to pass the assessment. And at this moment, on the arena, the Hellfire Bear suddenly pushed off the ground and pounced at the demon wolf before it. At this moment, the countdown above the arena ended. Assessment passed. Stop attacking. The assessment teacher suddenly shouted, and the 4 beasts immediately stopped attacking. The Hellfire Bear then leaned back instantly. He was too badly injured. Quickly put the Hellfire Bear back into the beast taming space. Seeing Li Eriang freeze at the critical moment, I shouted a reminder. Li Eriang snapped out of it, from the joy of passing the assessment, and followed my advice, and immediately put the Hellfire Bear into the beast taming space. The beast taming space could heal injuries on its own. Brother, I am going to the medical room. I will be back to cheer you on later. Li Eriang nodded at me and jogged off to the medical room. Next, Chen Feng, Beast Taming Aptitude D rank. Assessment difficulty, highest level. The assessment teacher shouted. The iron cage below the arena opened again. What came out was the strongest combination of beasts. 3 high-rank land beasts and 1 high-rank bird-type beast. I only let out a loud shout. Prison gate. A 100-meter-tall prison gate appeared. Thick purple chains wrapped around the blood-red prison gate pillars. The tiles on top of the prison gate were also blood-red. In the middle of the prison gate was a purple mist, mixed with a little bit of scarlet drifting out, looking quite terrifying. Everyone looked up at the 100-meter-tall prison gate and swallowed nervously. An intense sense of suffocation rose in their hearts. They had never seen this kind of beast tamer summoning method. I spoke calmly, still with my hands in my pockets, and said to the prison gate, "Dinner is served." As the words fell, 2 scarlet rays of light appeared in the prison gate, accompanied by a rustling sound and the clinking of chains. At this moment, the 3 high-rank beasts outside the prison gate had already assumed battle stances, but their bodies were trembling violently, as if facing a natural enemy. This was the unique aura of magical beasts. The next moment, a huge centipede head poked out from the prison gate. Just the head alone already occupied half of the arena. You must know that this main battlefield was at least the size of 10 football fields, but now a centipede head alone occupied most of it. The 4 beasts were all trembling. They were not even as big as one of the centipede's fangs. If the steel-feathered peacock spreading its wings can be said to blot out the sky and cover the sun, then at this moment, the centipede only revealing its head was a being that could swallow the sky and devour the earth. The next moment, the 4 trembling beasts vanished into thin air, swallowed into the centipede's belly. And this was only my first magical beast, the 10,000-legged Demon Centipede Emperor. It was considered the weakest among my 10 magical beasts. If it were to fully emerge from the prison gate, its length would be comparable to half a city. As the 4 beasts vanished, the 10,000-legged Demon Centipede Emperor also revealed its full head and 2 sections of its huge outer shell. And each leg was wrapped in a thick purple chain, like a chained vicious dog, adding a touch of ferocity to the Centipede Emperor. Chen Feng. I am not full yet, not even enough to fill the gaps between my teeth. The Centipede Emperor turned its head to look at me in the stands. You should be content. You were the first to eat, I replied. What do you mean? The Centipede Emperor was first stunned. Then, sensing my strength, it was shocked. Why have you been recultivated again? No, Chen Feng, you cannot do this. I have fought for you for over 100 years, and you are recultivating again. The Centipede Emperor was stunned. It felt that my strength had dropped to 1 star. and instantly trembled all over. There were precedents, and now it was very afraid. The Centipede Emperor was the first magical beast I had contracted. It knew very well how I had obtained this strength. Now that I was recultivating again, that meant its value was no longer enough to be my Beast Tamer. Then it thought of the 4 beasts it had just eaten. This was a last meal. Chen Feng, ancestor, you cannot do this. Little centipede, I have fought for you for hundreds of years. Even if I have no merit, I have endured hardship. What are you thinking? I will explain later. I am not going to kill you. Go back for now. I shook my head helplessly. And the Centipede Emperor wanted to explain more. Go back. Hearing my angry shout, the Centipede Emperor obediently retreated back into the prison gate. Teacher, you can announce the assessment result. I turned to remind the assessment teacher, who was still in a daze. The assessment teacher was already frozen in place. The demonic aura emitted by the Centipede Emperor still left him shaken. Okay. The assessment teacher stammered, I announce. Student Chen Feng has passed the highest level assessment. At this moment, I turned around and looked at the 4 people behind me who were also in a daze. Liu Yu was also shocked by the strength I had displayed. What kind of beast was that? Why did it instantly kill 4 high-rank beasts with one move? He had not even seen how my beast attacked. Thinking of this, he suppressed his curiosity and walked over to me in 2 steps. With a warm smile, he said, Brother Chen Feng, I was blind earlier. Later, let me treat you and Brother Li Eriang to a meal. At this moment, Wang Qian, who had witnessed all this, wanted to die of regret. She had almost ground her back teeth to dust. But as she was thinking about how to get back together with me, I led Li Eriang and Liu Yu out. And these 2 were both old acquaintances from my previous life. Both had awakened S-rank beast taming talents, and the next goal was to participate in the provincial beast taming competition, so the Centipede Emperor could have a good feast. But at this moment, inside the beast taming assessment office, a middle-aged man stood up in shock, and across from him was the teacher who had just assessed me. This student's assessment video and personal information are to be classified as top secret. You do not need to lead this batch of students anymore either. I will personally take over, Zhang Daoyuan said, taking the materials from the assessment teacher and placing them into his briefcase. His identity was a senior commander of the Beast Domain and an 8-star Beast Tamer. But even with his strength, he could not tell what my Beast Tamer was. But just as I arrived at the entrance of the beast taming competition, a voice came from behind me, Chen Feng, right. I turned and found a middle-aged man in a trench coat, with a scar on his face. My name is Zhang Daoyuan. I am your Daidui teacher. Come with me. There are some things I need to verify with you, Zhang Daoyuan said to me with a serious expression. I nodded, and went with him to a private office. I had expected this. When I revealed the magical beasts, I knew I would be questioned. I just did not expect it to be so soon. Probably because of the higher-ups. He knew that my beast tamer was not an ordinary beast. The beast you contracted is a magical beast, right? Zhang Daoyuan said, his eyes fixed on mine. He was an 8-star beast tamer, and could easily tell if someone was lying. Yes. I shrugged. Zhang Daoyuan narrowed his eyes, and thought to himself. Sure enough, after a round of questioning, Zhang Daoyuan saw me out of the office. 30 minutes later, Zhang Daoyuan came out alone, and gathered all the students to enter the Northern Beast Domain. After entering the Beast Domain, I immediately began searching for beasts. Beast domains like this usually had herbivorous beasts. Hopefully, I would be lucky enough to encounter one. Just in time, the Centipede Emperor was hungry. It could have a buffet. After advancing at full speed for over an hour, I finally encountered a living thing. To be precise, I encountered people, and they were acquaintances. Chen Feng. Wang Qian's eyes were filled with joy, and beside her was the pale-faced pretty boy Dufan, whose displeasure was written all over his face. The 2 were now surrounding a huge skeleton and observing it. Dufan turned and saw Wang Qian's joyful expression, and could not help but feel anger rising in his heart. I walked up in 2 steps, first looking at the giant skeleton at my feet. Judging by the size of the skeleton, it was at least a 2-star beast before death. I crouched down and picked up a bone, breaking off a sharp end, and gestured with it in my hand. It felt very handy. Chen Feng. We found this first. What do you mean by this? Dufan picked a fight, seeing that I wanted to use this bone as a weapon. Chen Feng. If you need it, take it. Let us team up, and let us get back together. At this moment, Wang Qian's attitude had done a complete 180-degree turn. She actually had the nerve to talk about getting back together. This greatly shocked me. When it came to controlling emotions, you really were the best, Wang Qian. But this made Dufan anxious. Before I could speak, he stepped in. Qian, did you not promise to be my girlfriend earlier? Then he quickly turned to me and pointed at me. You scumbag, get lost. Do not hang around in front of us. Dufan did not know where he got the courage. He actually dared to talk to me like that. This made me laugh. What do you think you are? Talking to me like that? My expression changed. I waved my hand and swung the bone knife. The bone knife instantly cut through Dufan's sleeve, leaving a terrifying wound on it. If it were not for the rules, he would already be a corpse. Dufan was instantly scared pissless. My knife swing was too fast. He had not reacted at all. And the image of me summoning my beast during the assessment flashed through his mind again, but he still pretended to be calm, seeing his pathetic state now. I turned and walked toward the center of the beast domain, leaving only a dazed Wang Qian and Dufan, whose expression kept changing. In a moment, Dufan seemed to think of something. He looked up at Wang Qian. Qian, let us. Before he could finish, Wang Qian directly cut him off. Get lost. She turned and shouted, Chen Feng, wait for me. I have realized how much I like you. Wang Qian jogged after me in the direction I had disappeared. By now, I had reached the edge of the beast domain center. The next second, I shouted, prison gate open. Instantly, 100-meter tall prison gate appeared in the forest. The 10,000-legged Demon Centipede Emperor excitedly poked its head out from the prison gate. It could not wait any longer. The first thing it did was to lower its head in front of me, signaling me to get on. I pushed off the ground with both feet and jumped onto the Centipede Emperor's head. Then the Centipede Emperor's body began to crawl out from the prison gate. This process lasted for 20 seconds. Its towering body, even lying on the ground, was 100 meters tall. Its length went without saying. It stretched for several kilometers through the forest. The appearance of the Centipede Emperor made all the beasts tremble, and also made all the students participating in the ranking competition nearby tremble. Even if they could not see it, they could hear the huge rumbling. What was that? A hidden boss. Some students were scared pissless, and the Centipede Emperor's speed was astonishing. Trees were directly snapped as it passed. Its movement was accompanied by the sound of wind. Standing on the Centipede Emperor's head, I could overlook 30 kilometers below, and it had already entered snake-eating mode. Under its giant eyes, all the surrounding beasts became food. But everyone outside the beast domain watched the surveillance footage in terror. The sudden appearance of the Centipede Emperor made them sweat profusely. What is going on? Activate the emergency plan immediately. A high-star beast has invaded, estimated to be at least 5 stars or above. Terminate the competition immediately. The speaker was a stern-faced, middle-aged man. He was the supreme commander of the 105 Beast Domain Defense Forces. The Centipede Emperor's massive body looked even more terrifying under the camera. The drones hovering high in the sky could not even capture the Centipede Emperor's full body. But Zhang Daoyuan remained unmoved. Teachers, do not panic. This is just the Beast Tamer of one of my recommended students. Hearing Zhang Daoyuan's words, everyone instantly fell silent. What? Say that again. You said that is your student's Beast Tamer. Are you joking? All the teachers were shocked. By now I had taken the Centipede Emperor to eat no less than 100 one-star beasts. Suddenly, a shout came from afar. Help. A monkey beast was chasing a boy in a school uniform. The monkey beast was very fast and was about to catch the school uniform boy. There was blood on its claws. The boy was not very tall and was limping. He seemed to be injured. The monkey beast had probably been scared by the Centipede Emperor and wanted to vent on the human before it. At this moment, the Centipede Emperor instantly appeared behind the monkey. Then its huge fangs bit it in half, and it was sucked into the Centipede Emperor's mouth. At this moment, the boy looked at the Centipede Emperor before him and grew even more terrified. The next second, he fainted on the spot. He seems to have fainted, that damn monkey beast. It must have scared him into fainting. The Centipede Emperor said to me inwardly. I was speechless. It was clearly you who scared him. When the boy woke up, he only felt a vibration beneath him. He instinctively turned to look around and immediately shouted, Classmate, you are awake. I said, looking at him. The boy turned to look and saw a handsome guy with his hands in his pockets. Hello, sir, the boy said as he tried to stand up, but his legs would not obey. He had just gotten up when he sat back down. It is okay, just sit. It is good that you are awake, I said with a smile. But soon the Centipede Emperor found a safe place. All right, you can get off here. The area nearby has been cleared, I said. Then I continued the buffet with the Centipede Emperor. By now, my level was about to break through to 1-star mid-rank Demon Tamer. I estimated that after the Centipede Emperor ate a few more beasts, I could fully break through. Just then, I narrowed my eyes and spotted 7 beasts and 3 humans gathered a kilometer away. The Centipede Emperor then headed in that direction. At that moment, the 3 were discussing tactics. Wang Qian, you can join our team. But first come, first served. It is your turn to be the bait. Dufan said to Wang Qian with a contemptuous look. Qian, as long as you help lure out the Earth Bear inside, we will help you find a contract beast next. Wang Qian scanned Wang Qian up and down with a smile. Then she added, just stand at the entrance and shout for help. If the Earth Bear comes out, Brother Tianhao will attack and injure it immediately. There will be absolutely no problem. And Wang Qian came from a poor family. Her parents had always told her to listen to the teacher and get along well with classmates outside. Even when she was bullied as a child, her parents and teachers would say that it takes 2 to tango. All right, I can do it. The next person to contract a beast is me, Wang Qian said with her head down. At this moment, she stood blankly outside the cave and began shouting for help according to the plan. When the earth bear in the cave heard Wang Qian shouting for help, a cold gleam flashed in its eyes. Its body instantly rushed out of the cave and pounced at Wang Qian with its bloody mouth wide open. Wang Qian tried to turn and run, but the earth bear's body was several times her size. Under the immense pressure, she temporarily lost the ability to move. Attack now. Fang Tianhao's expression changed drastically and he immediately ordered Dufan. At this moment Dufan's face showed panic on the surface, but he kept delaying giving orders to his beast. Wang Qian's face, in contrast, showed a smile. Cute green tea bitch, pretending to be weak to seduce Chen Feng. Just die already. Just as the bear's paw was about to touch Wang Yuyan's face, Chen Feng. Wang Qian was crying at this moment, already fragile. She cried out before the bear's paw landed. The next moment, the bear's paw struck down, but there was no pain. I heard you calling me. Wang Qian slowly opened her eyes. She saw me holding a bone knife inserted into the earth bear's neck, and my other foot stepping on Dufan's beast. You made Wang Qian take the risk. At such a young age, you are already trying to harm people. When you grow up, you will become a scourge among beast tamers. A huge rift suddenly opened in the space before me. The next moment, a giant head poked out from the rift. It was my first 10-star high-rank magical beast, the 10,000-legged Demon Centipede Emperor. Kill. I said coldly, looking at the opposite side. Chen Feng, what do you mean? There are rules against killing. Dufan stood at the front of the group, but before he could finish, he was swallowed by the Centipede Emperor. Next was Wang Qian, then all the others' beasts. The Centipede Emperor swallowed them all in one bite. I did not let the Centipede Emperor kill the other two indiscriminately. I just simply wanted to get rid of Wang Qian and Dufan. At this moment, the remaining person, Fang Tianhao, was already sitting on the ground in fear. Then I took Wang Qian and the Centipede Emperor and left. Chen Feng, where are we going next? Wang Qian liked this time alone with me. To the center area. First, help you contract a beast, and then find Li Eryang and Lu Yu. What kind of beast do you like? We had just arrived at the center area of the beast domain. Before I could find a suitable beast for Wang Qian, I ran into Li Eryang and Lu Yu first. The four of us stood on the Centipede Emperor's head. I spoke first. You two should have entered the center area first. Did you see any powerful contractable beasts? Then Li Eryang said, Brother Feng, you asked the right person. We actually did see one. It is an S-rank bloodline fire feather phoenix. Where is this fire feather phoenix now? Do you know? I became interested. And the fire feather phoenix was just right for Wang Qian. We do. We saw it fly to that mountain peak. Li Eryang pointed to a high mountain. Then we quickly headed there. Half an hour later, we arrived at a volcanic crater. Fire feather phoenixes usually live in volcanoes, so this must be its home, I explained. With that, I took the lead and jumped into the crater. After descending for half an hour, we finally reached the inside of the mountain. The first thing we saw was a cave. Look, that is the fire feather phoenix. Li Eryang pointed to the cave entrance. The fire feather phoenix was lying at the entrance, its body completely blocking it. There must be something inside that needs its protection. I could tell at a glance. First, let Yu Yan contract it. Let us go together, I said, then launched myself at the fire feather phoenix. This thing could fly. I had to get close to it immediately. Otherwise, it would be hard to catch once it took off. Li Eryang and Lu Yu exchanged a glance and immediately released their beasts. The fire feather phoenix truly lived up to its S-rank bloodline. It was very alert. Before I could get close, it had already raised its head and spotted me. With a cry, it spread its huge wings and instantly took off. Brother Feng, we will help you, Lu Yu shouted from behind and directly ordered his Dragonblood Firebird. The Dragonblood Firebird was currently 1-star mid-rank, at the same level as the Fire Feather Phoenix, and both were fire attribute. The two birds instantly started grappling in the air. Seeing this, I took a quick step and leaped high. Instantly reaching below the Fire Feather Phoenix, I grabbed one of its feet, trying to make it lose balance. This sudden force made the fire feather phoenix crash to the ground. But just then, an unfamiliar youthful voice came. Let go of that beast, we injured it first. I turned my head to look, and saw 3 figures at the cave entrance. It was Fang Tianhao and his group. Chen Feng, it is you. Fang Tianhao was shocked. Then he said to his brother, Brother, why not just leave? Fang Tianhao was a bit timid. The Centipede Emperor had left too big an impact on him. Leave what? This fire feather phoenix is very rare. We cannot miss this opportunity. Fang Tianhai then commanded his tiger beast to attack the fire feather phoenix. Li Eryang was not about to stay idle. Brother Bear, go help. With his command, his Hellfire Bear charged at the Wind-Roar 3-striped tiger's flank. Suddenly, another change occurred. The phoenix, which had been pinned down by the Dragonblood Firebird, somehow struggled up and flew away. It looked up and cried out, its eyes turning blood red. Pieces of red and gold-patterned feathers began to fall slowly. Not good. It is going to self-destruct and be reborn. I shouted when I saw this. Forget about everything else. I retreated frantically toward Wang Qian and the other two. At the same time, the Centipede Emperor emerged from my sleeve and directly surrounded the four of us. Brother, we need to run too. Although Fang Tianhao did not know what was going to happen, seeing me so tense, he shouted directly. The next moment, a terrifying wave of heat swept out from the cave. The three of them were sent flying, while the four of us were inside the centipede ball formed by the Centipede Emperor. We could only hear clanging sounds from outside, but had no idea what was happening. What is happening outside? I asked the Centipede Emperor. Nothing. A 3-star fire feather phoenix is scratching my itch. Wait until the temperature outside drops, and I will let you out. And eat it too. It should be a pair with that 1-star one. That means there must be something precious to them in that cave. For that thing, the 1-star fire feather phoenix actually threw away its life so easily, choosing to self-destruct. Chen Feng thought aloud. What would make a beast give its life so easily? Most likely there were its young inside. That is good too. Yuyan's first beast is settled. Eggs can also be hatched. And the 3-star fire feather phoenix kept attacking the Centipede Emperor's shell. Each strike was full force, but it could not break through the Centipede Emperor's defense. Inside the cave, next to the fire feather phoenix egg, a boy walked out of a nearby cave entrance, covered in dust. He had been planning to give up the ranking competition through the Beast Domain passage, but when he reached the foot of the mountain, he found a cave hidden by vines. Curiosity drove him to check it out. As soon as he entered the cave, he saw a fiery red egg. This egg was clearly the offspring of a high bloodline beast. At this moment, he was grinning from ear to ear. He quickly took off his school uniform and wrapped it around the egg, which was half his size. The next moment, he saw a fire feather phoenix, frantically attacking a purple spherical object. So this is the fire feather phoenix's egg. But what was it doing instead of incubating the egg? Sharpening its claws. Whatever, I will slip away first. The boy crouched and sneaked away stealthily. At this moment, the Centipede Emperor finally stretched out its body. The high temperature dissipated. It could not wait to leap up, and wrapped itself around the 3-star fire feather phoenix, then swallowed it in one bite. The four of us entered the fire feather phoenix's nest. Where is the egg? I frantically searched through the large nest woven from branches. Brother Feng, look at this. Li Eriang's voice came from beside me. I turned and saw a faintly glowing lava pool in front of Li Eriang, but the liquid inside did not look like real lava. It was a mysterious liquid the color of flames. I crouched down and examined it. This is Phoenix Flame Marrow, a natural elixir that can heal injuries for fire attribute beasts. Chen Feng said calmly. Then I said to Li Eriang, your beast is still not fully healed, right? You can let it out to drink some. This stuff can even heal hidden injuries. Li Eriang eagerly released his Hellfire Bear. It quickly lay down by the pool and lapped at it with its tongue. It is really working. It really works. Li Eriang could feel the injuries on his Hellfire Bear rapidly recovering. He said excitedly, of course it works. This stuff costs 100 million per sip outside. It is a rare and priceless healing medicine for fire-type beasts. I said to Li Eriang speechlessly, what? 100 million per sip? Stop drinking it already. Your injuries will heal with rest. Stop it, you beast. Li Eriang felt a sharp pain in his heart when he heard the value of Phoenix Flame Marrow. Sorry, Yuyan. I did not get you a suitable beast. Isihil, it is okay. Did we not all get this Phoenix Flame Marrow? Wang Yuyan said with a smile. Then the beast taming competition ended. I led the three to the Beast Domain passage. At this moment, the passage connecting the Beast Domain to the outside was already full of students. Then I heard a shout from behind. Sir. The voice sounded familiar. I turned to look back. A boy with a messy haircut, covered in dust, and carrying a large bundle on his back, emerged from the forest. It is you, I said with an air of a master. Brother Feng, who is this? Lu Yu asked curiously. My name is Han Xiaoli. I was saved by Brother Chen Feng when I was being chased by a beast earlier. Han Xiaoli scratched his head and introduced himself. Brother Han. What are you carrying on your back? Li Eriang asked curiously. This. It was lucky, actually. Han Xiaoli paused, first looking left and right, seeing no one paying attention to him. He leaned closer to the four of them and whispered, after I parted ways with Brother Feng, I wanted to find a beast to contract, but I was always being chased and hiding. Just when I was about to give up, I saw a hidden cave. I snuck in to take a look. Guess what? There was a beast egg inside. It is the one behind me, Han Xiaoli said, taking the school uniform wrapped around the egg and holding it in front of him. He opened a small gap for the four to see. He planned to hatch the egg when he got back, and then contract it as his beast. The four of us were stunned. So it was you who stole the nest. But now I did not know what to say. Although he had stolen the egg, he had stolen it with his own skill. And judging by Han Xiaoli's appearance, he really needed this egg. And after the beast taming competition ended, the first prize was an S-rank beast, but I already had 10 magical beasts, and no longer needed to contract anymore. But Wang Yuyan had not successfully contracted a beast during the competition, so I gave the prize to Wang Yuyan. After the award ceremony, I returned to my dormitory, and took out a black notebook from my pocket. Looking at the name Alina, I let out a long sigh. In my previous life, I was a full 10-star magical beast tamer. and founded a demon tamer organization called Night Demon. The organization did not have many members, but each one was exceptionally strong, and Alina had been with me the longest. She was one of my guards in Night Demon. As my guard, she managed my entire schedule, and even tasted my food for poison before meals. But in my previous life, Alina died in front of me while helping me contract the most powerful magical beast. Thinking of this, I sighed. The next day, I found Zhang Daoyuan to ask for leave. Seeing my worried expression, Zhang Daoyuan asked, "What is wrong? Is something on your mind?" He put out his cigarette, walked over and patted my shoulder. "Old Zhang, I need to take a leave of absence." I said seriously. "What leave?" "Tomorrow we are facing a private sparring match with Japan and Korea. You are a player for Longxia. How can you just take leave?" Zhang Daoyuan refused sternly. "Sorry, old Zhang. I cannot help it. I must leave for 3 days. I can only promise you that I will be back as soon as possible." I did not want to make things difficult for Zhang Daoyuan either, but this trip was about Alina. Nothing was more important than Alina. I said no, and that is final. Go back. You are not going anywhere. I, an 8-star Beast Tamer, cannot control you. Zhang Daoyuan was also angry. "Old Zhang, you are indeed powerful as an 8-star Beast Tamer, but you cannot stop me," I said calmly, without further words with Zhang Daoyuan. I headed straight for the camp gate. There are some things I must do. Zhang Daoyuan actually wanted to fight me, but thinking that my beast was 10-star. He hesitated a bit. "What exactly are you going to do? At least tell me." Zhang Daoyuan felt helpless for the first time. "Just so I have no regrets in this life." I paused, leaving only one sentence and a cool back view. 5 hours later, I crossed the entire Longxia and arrived in Tibet. If I remembered correctly, Alina would be here with her mother at the only high-end hotel today. First I bought some chocolate liqueur outside the hotel. Then I entered the hotel. That was Alina's favorite food. At this moment, a familiar tall figure appeared at the hotel entrance. It was definitely Alina. There were 4 of them in total. Besides Alina, there was 1 woman and 2 men. Alina. "We are staying here tonight. I booked the 2 most expensive rooms," the young man said to Alina with a smile. His eyes greedily scanned her. The young man speaking was called Andre. He was Alina's cousin. Alina instinctively glanced at me. I smiled and nodded in response. "Would you like some rose-flavored chocolate liqueur?" To the beautiful lady from England, I said as I passed by Alina. At this moment, I was handsome and young, and with this fluent and authentic British accent, it immediately made Alina stop. "Thank you." Alina took the chocolate liqueur, watching Alina walk away with a smiling back. My memories were stirred again. Her smile now was sunny and confident, completely different from when we first met in the previous life. The place where we first met was in the basement of a manor in England 25 years later. At that time, Alina had been tortured black and blue by her cousin Andre. She was naked. Not a single part of her skin was intact, covered in scars from whips, knives, and various other things. Thinking of this, I quickly headed to the nearby 2-star beast domain, because soon Alina would come here to contract a beast. But she did not expect that her uncle and cousin, in order to fight for the position of family manager, would kill her mother in this beast domain. And because Andre had a strong tendency to be a sadist, he found Alina beautiful. So after killing Alina's beast, he captured her and imprisoned her. And she was tortured in that dark basement for 25 years. At this moment, Alina and 3 other figures appeared at the beast domain entrance. Alina also saw me. What a coincidence. "Are you also here to contract a beast?" She was cheerful and greeted me. "No. I am here to prevent a friend from falling into darkness again." I smiled mysteriously. "Hurry up, Alina. Do not talk to this Longxia person anymore," Andre urged. After Alina and the other 3 seemed to have walked away, I also followed their footprints into the beast domain. After entering the beast domain, I summoned the Centipede Emperor. At this moment, the Centipede Emperor was just the right size to carry me, and Alina and the 4 quickly headed to the 2-star beast location. Ahead is the target location. Andre's father looked ahead and reminded, "Look, that is the cave. That is where the informant found the 2-star beast. Soon you will be a true 2-star beast tamer, just like your father when he was young," Frick said kindly to Alina behind him. Just then, Alina's mother turned and shouted, "Alina, be careful," but it was too late. Andre stood behind her with one hand gripping her throat, and a knife pressed against Alina's artery. If Alina or Angeli made any move, he would crush Alina's throat. At this moment, Frick also quickly stepped forward, grabbed Angeli's hair and punched her in the stomach. Then he slammed her head against the stone wall of the cave. Stones flew. Blood poured from Angeli's forehead. "You 2 want to know where Alina's father is? Let me tell you. He actually went to hell long ago, just a few days ago. He was also killed by me, smashed against the wall just like this. Blanche always praised you in front of me for being beautiful and smart. Let me see what is so good about you," Frick said as he dragged Angeli by the hair into the depths of the cave. Outside the cave, Andre was choking Alina. His hand began to remove her cold weather clothes. Alina now only felt deep helplessness. She closed her eyes, not daring to make any move. But the next moment, She felt the hand invading her clothes suddenly stop. She slowly opened her eyes. A person stood abruptly in front of her. The dagger in my hand was already buried in Andre's neck. Take a deep breath. Dizziness is normal. Then I signaled Alina to be quiet. Alina obediently nodded. There were still tears in her eyes. Seeing this, I held the dagger and carefully continued into the cave. Angeli, stop struggling. That guy Blanche is already dead. He always praised you as a good wife and mother. I want to try and see where your goodness lies. Just as he was about to proceed, he suddenly felt his head spin. Who? Frick said. He did not die immediately. He just felt a bit dizzy. In his vision, a young man appeared before him. It is you, a Longxia person. How did you get here? But the next second, he only felt the world spinning and collapsed weakly. No longer breathing, a blood hole the size of a finger appeared in his temple. Blood trickled out, and a purple centipede crawled out. Trash. Not tasty at all. The Centipede Emperor complained. Just now, I used one of my signature moves from my previous life. The Centipede Emperor's fangs were very sharp and could instantly pierce an enemy when thrown with force. It worked every time. Seeing Frick dead, I turned and walked back out. Alina was very obedient. She was still standing there. Your mother is safe. Go and tidy her clothes. She is just unconscious, I said, turning back into the cave again. Alina quickly jogged after me. After she helped her mother tidy her clothes, she turned and asked, how did you find this place? And, how do you know my name? She felt this was no coincidence. More importantly, how did this Longxia youth kill Frick? You know, Frick was a 6-star Beast Tamer. Suddenly she thought of something. You said before that you came here to prevent a friend from falling into darkness. Is that friend me? Looking at her, I sighed. Actually, this is hard to believe, but I am indeed here to save you. Consider it making up for my regret. You mean that we are actually friends or lovers? But I am sure I have never lost my memory, and I have never seen you before. I do not even know your name. Then there is only one possibility, the future, Alina asked. It is like I had a dream about us meeting in the future, then going through a series of hardships, meeting a group of great companions, building the most powerful organization in the world, and finally accomplishing something truly great. I shook my head and said, look after your mother. I will go find some wood outside. It is too cold here. After I went out, I never came back. There was enough wood in the cave. There were too many regrets. I could not just collect people. Every time I completed one thing. In the previous life, they had already gone through life and death with me. In this life, I was capable of bearing everything alone. After leaving the cave, I summoned the Centipede Emperor. Master, are you really not taking Alina with you? And the Centipede Emperor also had feelings for Alina in the previous life. No, they had already fallen into darkness in the previous life. In this life, I hope they will always stay in the light. I will stand on the dividing line between light and dark, and block the darkness for them. After I left, Alina appeared at the cave entrance at some point, watching me gradually disappear into the fierce wind and snow. A purple centipede beast. She memorized every purple pattern on the Centipede Emperor's shell. I will definitely find you. After Alina's matter was settled, I could rest assured and deal with the duel with Japan. With my participation this time, I would make sure they never returned. At this moment, in the lounge of the arena, Zhang Daoyuan paced back and forth like an ant on a hot pan. This Chen Feng, why is he still not back? And yesterday, the Japanese team had a 1v3 sweep, using just one person to defeat all 3 Longxia team members. Teacher, Zhang, can you still contact Chen Feng? The speaker was called Bai Xinyue. She was the Gongren School Beauty of Northern Beast Taming University. I think we should stop contacting him. He is only 1-star mid-rank. There is no way he can beat a 2-star high-rank beast. The speaker was named Gao Liang. He was also a genius of Northern Beast Taming University. You know nothing. You will see when he comes back. Zhang Daoyuan's tone was very harsh. He turned and walked toward the arena. After Zhang Daoyuan entered with the 3, the students in the stands instantly exploded. Look, they are here. I thought they were all geniuses, but they got swept 3-0 by Japan. Hearing this, Gao Liang punched the railing. The match is about to start. Where is that 1-star kid? Hurry up and come. If we lose, I can go back. I do not want to keep embarrassing myself here. He felt he could not afford the shame. Every extra minute he stayed felt like humiliation. The other 2 felt the same. Their faces were all gloomy, and did not say a word. Just as Zhang Daoyuan was about to release the pressure of an 8-star Beast Tamer, a familiar voice sounded behind him. Old Zhang, I am here. Hearing that familiar voice, Zhang Daoyuan's anger instantly vanished. You finally made it. Quickly cripple all the Japanese players, and make sure they stay in Longxia forever, but keep it low-key. Tomorrow we still have to play Korea. Zhang Daoyuan instructed. I nodded, and gave Zhang Daoyuan an okay gesture. So you are that 1-star kid. Just surrender. Do not let your beast get hurt. Songyi said disdainfully. I ignored him completely, and walked straight to the arena. Prison gate, open. I stood at the Beast Tamer's position and shouted. My voice was full of power. Very imposing. But the next moment, everyone was stunned. You shouted with such force, "Where is your beast?" At this moment, whether it was the audience or the Japanese Beast Tamer team, no one saw my beast appear, but only Zhang Daoyuan saw it. At this moment, the Centipede Emperor was thinner than a toothpick. He looked at me with some surprise. He had not expected the Centipede Emperor to shrink to such a degree. I told you to keep a low profile, but I did not tell you to be this low-key. At this moment, the Japanese player directly summoned his beast. It was a 2-star low-rank snake-type beast, 10 meters long, quite terrifying. At this moment, the two-headed snake could not find where its opponent was, but it saw a very thin purple centipede. Am I fighting this centipede? A big question mark hung over its two heads, all four eyes full of confusion. With the referee's command, the Centipede Emperor slowly crawled toward the two-headed snake, as if strolling in its own backyard. At this moment, the two-headed snake looked at the Centipede Emperor, and the Centipede Emperor said, "I am just passing through. My home is right here." Then the two-headed snake directly ignored the Centipede Emperor on the ground. Its four eyes scanned the surroundings cautiously, but the next second, the Centipede Emperor slipped through the gaps in its scales into its body. Then the two-headed snake collapsed on the ground and fainted. What happened? At this moment, Shimada quickly ran to the two-headed snake, trying to wake it up. "You lost," I said disdainfully. "What did you do? You cheated. I did not even see your beast. You are so despicable." Shimada pointed at me angrily. "A loss is a loss. Your garbage beast cannot even see where my beast is. Do you admit that your beast is garbage?" I shot back directly, but he put the two-headed snake back into the beast space and summoned another beast. Golden-eyed poison frog. The golden-eyed poison frog specialized in dynamic vision. It could see anything that moved. Golden eye. "Do you see any other beasts on the field?" Shimada asked the golden-eyed poison frog. "Nothing else. Only a slow-moving purple centipede." The golden-eyed poison frog stared at the Centipede Emperor and said, "Damn it. His beast is actually a little centipede. Kill it," Shimada said fiercely. The next second, the golden-eyed poison frog stared at the Centipede Emperor, slowly crawling toward it, and shot out its tongue. Its tongue not only had mucus, but also contained deadly poison. The next moment, the golden-eyed poison frog suddenly started foaming at the mouth. Its eyes rolled back, its limbs went limp, and lay motionless on the ground. "Oh no, master. It scraped its tongue on my fang. It seems to be poisoned to death," the Centipede Emperor said apologetically. I was speechless. I did not expect that to happen either. And the two-headed snake was only paralyzed from the waist down. But this golden-eyed poison frog had poisoned itself. I turned to look at Zhang Daoyuan with an awkward expression, and Zhang Daoyuan did not know that the Centipede Emperor had poisoned the frog to death. He only thought I was asking if I had been too harsh. "Referee, announce the result," Zhang Daoyuan said smugly. "I announce. This round goes to Chen Feng. Does the Japanese team leader wish to continue the challenge?" The referee's mouth was raised high. He nodded at me with a smile. So satisfying. Shimada, who had been so arrogant just now, was now like a wilted eggplant. And everyone was shocked speechless by me. What happened? He won again. What kind of beast is this? Why is it so fierce? You cannot see the beast, only its power. Song Yi's eyes were wide open. He had been slapped in the face too quickly. Gao Liang and Bai Xinyu were also shocked. The three of them now looked at me with different eyes. So this was their last teammate. He was simply too strong. "Shimada, what exactly happened?" Sakata asked Shimada Jiro quietly. He still had not seen my beast. "It is a centipede beast. My golden-eyed poison frog itself had a poison attribute, and it was still poisoned by its centipede venom," Shimada Jiro said, "since it is a highly venomous centipede beast. Then the next one will be handled by Koyano, who has a ranged beast." Sakata said. From the Japanese team, a thin, yellow-haired man stepped out. "Longxia, I will use my beast to crush your pretentious beast into pieces." Koyano looked at me and said sinisterly in broken Longxia, "Beast, out." Koyano stepped forward and directly summoned his 2-star high-rank beast. It was actually a 2-star high-rank ghost-faced spirit spider. Bai Xinyu and the other two stood up in shock when they saw Koyano's beast. The ghost-faced spirit spider was ranked in the top 50 among S-rank bloodline beasts. It came with a skill, poison web projection. It is over. Chen Feng's beast is in danger. His beast should be a bug type. The ghost-faced spirit spider is a natural bug catcher. Tell Chen Feng to surrender, Gao Liang said, turning to Zhang Daoyuan. But before he could finish, Zhang Daoyuan stopped him. Watch the match carefully. Zhang Daoyuan gritted his teeth, but his expression was completely different from his words. He was already laughing inside. He tried hard not to smile, his face red from holding it in, just so I could cripple a few more of the Japanese team's beasts. And the Japanese team leader. Sakata saw Zhang Daoyuan's expression and felt reassured. Yosh. It seems this Longxia team leader is already panicking. Teacher Zhang, we have already agreed to the match. You Longxia cannot back out now. Just hurry up and fight. So much nonsense. Zhang Daoyuan tried hard not to laugh. But just as Sakata wanted to mock him further, Shimada Jiro beside him suddenly grabbed his head and screamed, and knelt directly on the ground. "What is wrong with you, Shimada?" Sakata forgot to mock Zhang Daoyuan. He quickly turned and crouched down to check on Shimada. "Teacher, he killed my beast. My head hurts so much." Shimada pointed at me and cried out in pain. "What? Which beast did he kill?" Sakata stood up instantly. It was the golden-eyed poison frog. As soon as Shimada said that, the 4 Japanese team members erupted. At this moment, Sakata proposed a revenge match. And in a revenge match, when I killed his beast, they had the absolute right to decide whether to continue the match, until their beasts were exhausted or they voluntarily stopped. Zhang Daoyuan, who had been silent, suddenly stood up. He walked to me with a serious expression. Anyone could see the worry on his face. But he leaned in and whispered, "Kid, tell your magical beast to act more pathetic. We still have Korea tomorrow. Kill as many of theirs as you can." His expression remained worried. His acting was so good that no one could tell. I cursed inwardly. Old Zhang's heart was really dark. Look at his expression. Who could tell he was acting? But on the surface, I nodded with a grave expression, and looked at Koyano with fearful eyes. It seemed his beast really was afraid of the ghost-faced spirit spider. Ghost-faced spirit spider. Go eat his beast. Koyano shouted angrily. With that, the ghost-faced spirit spider quickly spun its web, and kept throwing poison webs at the Centipede Emperor's position. The Centipede Emperor pretended to be pathetic and dodged continuously. How is my acting? The Centipede Emperor kept dodging and weaving in the arena. It looked extremely pathetic, barely avoiding the poison webs each time. Keep it up for a while, then win by a narrow margin later. There are still a few Japanese players left. Yes, master. After replying, the Centipede Emperor used its tiny body to stall for a minute. Then it quickly crawled toward the ghost-faced spirit spider. The next moment, the spider's abdomen churned, and it collapsed to the ground. But the Centipede Emperor had only lightly bitten it. As the ghost-faced spirit spider lay limp on the ground, Koyano knelt down directly, clutching his head in pain and screaming. His bloodshot eyes glared at me. "You killed my beast." Then he fainted. At this moment, another Japanese player directly released his beast. A giant crocodile over 20 meters long and 2 meters tall appeared instantly. It quickly crawled toward the Centipede Emperor, and the Centipede Emperor, seeing the charging crocodile, bared its 2 big fangs and bit into the giant-tailed demon crocodile's white belly. Suddenly, the giant-tailed demon crocodile felt dizzy and rolled over. The Japanese player, who had been smirking, suddenly clutched his head and crouched down, howling in pain. What is going on? Suddenly, the Japanese team leader stood up sharply. Then the referee's voice sounded. Does the Japanese team wish to continue the match? Continue my head. No more. Sakata looked back at the fallen players and gritted his teeth. He really did not dare to take the risk now. Is Korea not up next? Let them fight. Alright, the match is over. The Northern University seed team wins. With that, the students in the stands began to cheer. Chen Feng, you are amazing. At this moment, Bai Xinyue jogged up to me and said happily, and the other 2 teammates smiled and nodded at me. The next day, in the arena, the opponent was Korea. Let us begin. 1 match decides the winner. 4 versus 4. The Korean team leader said impatiently. Before the match, he had already instructed his players not to hold back in this match, to cripple all of Longshia's beasts if possible, and the American Beast Tamer team promised that if they succeeded this time, they would reward them with a 2-star mid-rank S-rank bloodline beast. In fact, in previous years, Japan and Korea were not strong. At most, they had a 2-star mid-rank beast, but this year, they had received secret support from America, and their strength was comparable to a first-tier team. After the match began, 3 beasts appeared in the arena. They were the beasts of Bai Xinyue and the other 2. And I did not summon the Centipede Emperor immediately, because this was a team match. The Centipede Emperor did not need to be low-key, and I could also show off properly. But Park Jae-woo saw this and mocked directly. Release your beasts. Show these Longxia trash what a real beast looks like. The group led by Park Jae-woo directly released their beasts. 4 giant birds flew out from the light gates. Their wings spread out, blocking half of the arena's sunlight. There were actually 4 bird-type beasts, and all of them were 2-star high rank. The students in the stands were all shocked. There were actually 4 moon-chasing wind spirit birds. This was not a beast that Korea should have. I squinted at the 4 white-feathered giant birds in the sky and said slowly, what do we do? They actually have 4 flying beasts. Senior Song and Senior Gao's beast definitely cannot reach them. Chen Feng, can your beast attack them? Bai Xinyue said, turning to look at me. A small problem. I sneered directly. I was going to let them have 3 moves, but now it seems I cannot afford to. In the last match, I did not tell them the Centipede Emperor's true strength. But today, I had to give everyone a surprise. Maybe we should surrender. After all, the gap is there. It is not embarrassing. As long as the Green Mountains remain, there will be no shortage of firewood. Gao Liang said, looking at me. He was also very hesitant at this moment. He was actually unwilling to surrender like this. But the strength gap was there. You still have to yield when you should. No need. Just watch me. I put my hands in my pockets. and said slowly, looking at the 4 moon-chasing wind spirit birds in the sky, "You 3, put your hands in your pockets too. I will take you to show off." I said to them, looking at the birds in the sky, "Chen Feng, do not joke at a time like this. We should think about how to lose less badly." Bai Xinyue advised. "All right, it is your choice to give up this chance to show off. Do not regret it later." I looked down at the arena and shouted, "Prison gate, open." The voice came from my dantian. It was very loud, making people nearby turn their heads. How is this move again? The prison gate looks big, but the beast is so small. What use is it? But the next moment, a giant centipede head poked out from the prison gate. Just the head alone occupied half of the arena. You must know that this battlefield was at least the size of 10 football fields. But now a centipede head alone occupied most of it. The 4 beasts were all trembling. Everyone was stunned. What a huge centipede. Goodness, is this a centipede god? Some were even trembling all over. Half of the arena's airspace was originally occupied by the 4 moon-chasing wind spirit birds. But now, just the centipede emperor's head was larger than all of them combined, directly occupying half of the arena. The 4 moon-chasing wind spirit birds trembled all over. They forced themselves to stay in control, circling in the air, not daring to get close to the centipede emperor at all. They had never seen such a beast. And the centipede emperor looked at the beasts of Bai Xinyu and the other 2. Its 2 massive eyes staring at the 3 poor little things. "Do not be afraid. Call me Big Brother," the centipede emperor said in beast language. Big Brother," after the 3 called out. The centipede emperor nodded. It looked at the 4 moon-chasing wind spirit birds again and unleashed a terrifying pressure once more. At this moment, Park Jae-woo was already scared silly. He stammered for a long time and could not speak. His 3 teammates were the same. "Quickly surrender." Park Jae-woo reacted fastest and shouted, "Eat them." I did not wait for the referee to announce the end of the match and directly ordered. The centipede emperor flashed past in an instant. When it was seen again, where were the wind spirit birds in the sky? Then 4 screams rang out one after another. The 4 Korean players all clutched their heads and screamed. I announce, Longxia wins. The referee then raised his small flag and announced the result expressionlessly. Instantly, the audience erupted. Chen Feng is handsome. The centipede beast is invincible. At this moment, Bai Xinyue happily ran up to me and asked, "Chen Feng, is your beast size change a skill?" Song Yi's ears perked up and he also looked at me. "Something like that," I replied. In fact, changing size was the centipede emperor's innate talent. And the centipede emperor's skill was space traversal. An innate talent generally refers to a skill that beasts or magical beasts have naturally. Only rare bloodline beasts would have them, and because of today's victory, the 4 of us were given a day off by Zhang Daoyuan. The day after tomorrow, we would go to a high-level beast domain to find beast bones. And tonight we plan to relax. Because Song Yi was a second-generation rich kid from the capital, he became the Tuhol host for tonight's expenses. But in his words, spending money did not matter. It was all his father's anyway. The 4 walked through the school, attracting the gazes of countless students. Some bold junior girls even directly asked me for autographs. This was a treatment I only enjoyed after 50 years of struggle in my previous life. In this life, I had achieved it just after turning 18, so I welcomed everyone. Autographs. Right. Come. I also have private photos. Want some? With abs. After casually dealing with the fans, we headed to the capital arena. There was a large official beast battle tonight. Before the match, all spectators could place bets. It was another form of lottery, mainly because this was relatively fair. The beasts were randomly caught from the beast domain. To judge the outcome, one needed to have a deep understanding of beast knowledge. So it also indirectly promoted the craze for learning about beasts. Because beast battles were very popular, I occasionally played in my previous life. And coincidentally, tonight's match was a draw. I happened to have 100 million in my pocket, which was the reward from the last ranking competition. Since I knew the result, I had to go all in and take this chance to get rich. I also thought about buying some materials to brew some potions that could accelerate the conversion of demon taming power for the centipede emperor to drink. The current rate of recovery was too slow, and this was only 1-star mid-rank. When I reached 2 or 3 stars, without the help of potions, recovering strength would be even slower. Chen Feng, it is about to start. Do you want to play? I have money. Song Yi thought I was silent because I wanted to bet but had no money. No need. I have a bit. I smiled back. Later it would be a battle between 2 3-star high-rank beasts. Red Fox Horse versus Leopard. Song Yi looked at the match list and said, there is no choice. Just blindly pick Leopard and it is over. Leopard is a carnivorous beast, while the Red Fox Horse is herbivorous. The result is obvious, Gao Liyang said, and directly bought 300 yuan on Leopard to win via his phone. Xinyue, are you not playing? Song Yi asked, seeing that Bai Xinyue had not moved. No, I do not like this. Bai Xinyue had no interest in gambling. Her father had a leg broken because he owed money from gambling, so she was naturally averse to it. All right, then just enjoy the show, Song Yi said as he fiddled with his phone. I also bet 30,000 on Leopard to win, Song Yi muttered. Chen Feng, what did you choose? Bai Xinyue did not play, but she was curious about what I, who had been silent, would bet on. I will just buy a draw, I said casually. Then right in front of Bai Xinyue, I typed a bunch of zeros into my phone. Bet placed successfully. Draw. Odds 1 to 20. Bai Xinyue saw the amount I bet and rubbed her eyes in disbelief. Chen Feng, did you press too many zeros? She questioned. There were too many zeros. She was a bit dazzled. Let me see what is going on. Song Yi was also addressing her. He quickly leaned over to look at my phone. You directly bet 100 million. And on a draw. Did you make a mistake? Song Yi's entire face was filled with confusion. Which of us is really the rich second generation? Who just bets 100 million right away? Damn. Chen Feng, what kind of family are you from? 100 million right off the bat. And betting on a draw. Do you know there has not been a draw in nearly a year? Both beasts have to attack each other at the same time. And both die at the same time for it to be a draw. My brain is a bit confused. Is your secret identity a rich guy? Gao Liyang looked at me like I was an idiot. I bought it because the odds were high. Xinyue, do you want to buy? 120 odds. If you win, you get 20 times. I said with a smile. Bai Xinyue was stunned. You want to give money away yourself and take me with you? Forget it. He is quite pitiful. How about I follow with 200? I will follow with 200. Bai Xinyue said weakly. Then, before Song Yi and the other could advise, she silently took out her phone and bet 200 on a draw. After the beast battle started, the stands were filled with shouts. The vast majority of people dreamed of getting rich overnight. The battle on the field was not optimistic. The leopard was chasing the red fox horse all over the field. But soon the red fox horse was caught by the leopard. It kept using its sharp claws to cut the red fox horse's 2 hind legs, trying to slow down the fleeing red fox horse. In an instant, flesh was torn open. The red fox horse neighed, not daring to turn back and fight the leopard head-on. This is the script. Watching the scene on the field, I nodded inwardly. Everything was the same as in the previous life. Before the match started in the previous life, many people said today's match was a guaranteed win, so all the gamblers in Longxia came out in full force and placed heavy bets on this match. They all thought the leopard would surely win. Of course, some chose to take a risk, betting on the red fox horse. What if it wins? But no one expected that they would end in a draw. At this moment, I was like an old monk in meditation, sitting steadily in the stands, watching the chase below. I had even started planning to buy potion materials tomorrow morning and go to the school lab to make some low-grade potions. But Bai Xinyue's face was tense, looking at the notification of her 200 yuan bet on her phone. This was 1/10 of her entire monthly living expenses. Her father had divorced her mother because of gambling. That was when she had just started her freshman year, full of high spirits. After all, she was a genius. She used part of the scholarship the school gave her to buy a beast. The rest was taken by her father before the divorce to pay off debts, so this 200 yuan was really a huge sum to her. Without this 200, she might have to go hungry for 4 or 5 days. But at this moment, the leopard quickly charged at the red fox horse, and Bai Xinyue, who was blaming herself, was distracted by the referee's shout. The leopard is going to finish it. She jolted and immediately turned her head to look at the field. At this moment, the leopard had already overtaken from the side and pounced at the red fox horse's neck. She glanced at me and thought, he is so calm. Could he be a legendary super rich second generation? Compared to him, it seemed like I was the one who bet 100 million. Bai Xinyue complained inwardly, and at this moment, my mouth was already twisted into a grin, silently screaming inside. Money, come. The next moment, the leopard had already pounced on the red fox horse's neck. Its claws swung, using all its strength. If this hit landed, the red fox horse's throat would definitely be crushed. But just then, the red fox horse, which had been fleeing, suddenly raised its front hooves, which it had never raised before, and kicked the leopard's head. Everything happened in a flash. The leopard did crush the red fox horse's throat, but it was also kicked in the head by the red fox horse. The red fox horse fell to the ground instantly. The leopard, its skull caved in, flew toward the edge of the field, and crashed into the stone wall 10 meters away, motionless. What? In the stands. Everyone stood up instantly, letting out cries of shock. How is this possible? A draw has not appeared in at least a year. Replay. We want a replay. On the big screen, the slow-motion replay played the final moments of the battle. In the end, I still won 20 billion. Chen Feng. Purple Centipede. Beast Tamer level. 1 star, mid-rank. Other information, none. No information can be verified. Recently appeared in the seed team of Northern Beast Taming University of Longxia. Beast. This person is highly suspicious. Recommended for close observation. Close observation my ass. At this moment, she had no trace of a lady's elegance. Instead, she looked like a child who had gotten candy. Mother, I have found my savior. His name is Chen Feng. I am going to find him right now. Oh, right. I want to change my nationality. I want to join Longxia. As long as I give the secret American intelligence we have to Longxia, they will definitely agree to my nationality change. At this moment, I had already arrived at the Halian City Beast Domain area with Bai Xinyu. Then I felt something cover my head, Bai Xinyu. But no one answered. The fear of the unknown caught even me, who had been steady for years, off guard. It was too professional. Although I could not move now, my mind was still thinking about the situation. The ground trembled violently. The teleportation time to the Beast Domain was also 1 second longer than usual. Could it be a Beast Domain Ronghe? When Beast Domains merge, entering a Beast Domain will randomly teleport you. Bai Xinyu was definitely not at the normal entry location now. She must have been randomly teleported too. This was a high-star Beast Domain, and it happened to be during a fusion. Bai Xinyu was directly teleported to a high-star beast, or even to another Beast Domain that was merging with this one. With her strength, she would surely die. But the first priority was to determine my own situation. Electric shock, anesthetic, hood. The moves were smooth and professional. Most likely a pioneering unit. Only the elite of a pioneering unit could do something so professional. But I did not know which country's pioneering unit it was. The closest countries to this domain should be Daeho and Korea. Hopefully, it was not Korea's pioneering unit, because their units had American Beast Tamers in them. As I thought about it, I felt someone searching my clothes. It is our Longxia people. Quickly stop the current output. The familiar Longxia language instantly calmed my heart. It seems it is the Longxia pioneering unit. The next moment, my vision brightened. Someone pulled the black cloth hood off my head. The current had also stopped being applied. Now I could summon my beast at any time. But the anesthetic effect was still there, and I could not move for now. Sorry, friend. We were just being cautious. You suddenly appeared in our camp. We thought you were from the Korean pioneering unit. The speaker was a young man with a crew cut, looking about 20-something. I tried to clear my throat. Have you seen a girl? We are members of the C team of Northern Beast Taming University of Longxia. We came here to contract beasts. We were randomly teleported apart as soon as we entered. I quickly said, sorry. Your name is Chen Feng, right? We did not see any girl. The crew-cut young man's expression stiffened. There was actually someone else. This is troublesome. Since Xinyu was not here, I had to act quickly. Every second delayed, Bai Xinyu could be in danger. I am sorry, but you cannot leave now. You are under house arrest. As for the girl you mentioned, we will find her for you. The crew-cut young man stopped me. Why am I under house arrest? Did you get into a fight with another Beast Domain's pioneering unit? Or some other reason? I asked. This was my analysis just now. Generally, when Beast Domains merge at the border, it brings about resource disputes between two countries. Anyway, it is not a fight on Blue Star. Whoever wins gets the resources. You know about Beast Domain merging. The crew-cut young man was startled. That is classified information. I sneered. Of course I know. I hope you can help me find my teammate as soon as possible. Her name is Bai Xinyu. I nodded first, then added. Alright, I will relay the message now. The young man responded and quickly took out a walkie-talkie. Cave 1. Cave 1. This is Jackal. Target has woken up. Identity confirmed. Chen Feng. Longxia citizen. Identity. Member of the Northern Beast Taming University seed team. Identity verified. Chen Feng said he has a classmate who was also randomly teleported into the Beast Domain. Please broadcast on all channels. Her name is Bai Xinyu. 2-star Beast Tamer. After getting the response, the young man codenamed Jackal put the walkie-talkie back in his pocket. Then, after briefly learning about the Beast Domain situation, the walkie-talkie rang. Calling Jackal, Bai Xinyu has appeared on the front line. She was teleported to the battlefield between the frontline unit and Korea. Fox is escorting her back. You are to escort Chen Feng out. The tone of the voice was clearly wrong. The change was very obvious. Normally, every member of the pioneering unit spoke with a full voice. What happened? I quickly asked. After all, I had lived for over 1,000 years. I could tell Jackal's mood was off. Nothing happened. I will escort you out of the Beast Domain first. As for your classmate, she is on her way. Let us go first, Jackal said, trying to sound casual. Just then, a sharp whistling sound came from outside. The sound was extremely piercing, like the sound of a missile tearing through the air. Jackal quickly ran outside. I followed closely. I knew that sound too well. It was the sound of an American electromagnetic pulse jamming missile breaking through the air. Its main purpose was to disrupt electromagnetic devices, such as walkie-talkies. I looked at the sky and immediately realized the seriousness of the situation. This Beast Domain merger was definitely premeditated by Korea. The jamming missile was the best proof, and since they fired it, they must be very close. That meant Bai Xinyu was definitely in danger. A bad feeling enveloped me. Let us go quickly. I will get you out first. Jackal also knew what the jamming missile meant and gritted his teeth. But when he turned to look at me, he was stunned. A 100-meter-tall red prison gate rose from the ground. In his vision, a giant purple centipede, so large it was suffocating, quickly crawled out of the prison gate. Its thick legs moved rhythmically. The ground trembled again. Trees over 20 meters tall were casually knocked down by it. And I was now standing on the Centipede Emperor's head. The Centipede Emperor kept moving forward rapidly. After about a minute, A giant bear over 50 meters tall appeared in my sight. I squinted. With my eyesight, I could tell. This bear was at least 8 or 9 stars. I was slightly shocked. How did such a high-rank beast appear, although the Centipede Emperor was a 10-star magical beast? The problem was that I was only 1-star mid-rank, and the Centipede Emperor was not a pure attack-type magical beast. Its greatest use was for escape. The next moment, the Centipede Emperor and the giant bear met. The originally massive bear visibly paused, its bare mouth wide open. Such a huge centipede was beyond its senju. I stood on the Centipede Emperor's head, looking down, with the posture of a master. After all, I was the Demon Tamer ancestor who had lived for 1,000 years. This was just returning to my true state. And if the bear's owner wanted to look at me, he had to look up. With the Centipede Emperor's massive body, would you dare to act? A Longxia Beast Tamer. A cry of surprise came. It was in Korean. My ears twitched. My eyes rolled. A sly smile appeared at the corner of my mouth. Then I said in Korean, loyalty, bravery, sons of the sun. This was something I learned in my previous life. It was a secret code for high-star beast tamers in Korea, usually used by 2 beast tamers stationed in other countries to confirm each other's identities. The man on the giant bear was a middle-aged man. He did not expect me to recite their secret code. This code was top secret in Korea. Only beast tamers above 8 stars knew it. A flash of joy appeared in his eyes. Iron-blooded. Justice. Take back everything. Which unit are you from? I asked, looking down. Song Jongki unit. Unit number Sun. 8-star Beast Tamer. Song Il-jeon sends his regards. Song Il-jeon answered excitedly. This time, our cooperation with the Americans is very successful. I have already cleared out the Longxia unit. You do not need to go further. Let us return to our country first. My name cannot be disclosed, but I can tell you. I am from the Elders Group, I said slowly. The Elders Group? A secret official organization in Korea. Only beast tamers above 9 stars could join. Yes. Song Il-jeon, hearing that I was from the Elders Group, trembled inside. He had only heard of such big shots, never seen one. In fact, Song Il-jeon was not stupid. The reason he was so easily fooled by me was because I knew too many of Korea's highest secrets. For example, the secret code and the Elders Group. Those were not things other countries knew. Plus the Centipede Emperor under my feet. Song Il-jeon knew that Longxia's Beast Tamer experts all had their own pride. They would never stoop to deceiving others with a false identity. They always struck with lightning speed and killed with one blow. Oh right, do you know about a Longxia girl who was teleported to the battlefield? I asked again from above. A Longxia girl. I have some impression. Earlier, when I was chasing a Longxia pioneering unit member, his beast was a fox. I remember he was holding a little girl. I wonder if that is the one you are looking for. Song Il-jeon said carefully. What? A Longxia Beast Tamer got away. Why did you not say so earlier? Ah, shit. I cursed as if angry. Song Il-jeon was stunned. I am sorry. I have disgraced Korea. But that fox beast ran too fast. My bear is not a speed type. Song Il-jeon quickly lowered his head and nervously admitted fault. How could you leave behind a loose end? Which direction did he run? Lead the way. We are going to catch him. I snorted coldly, with a tone of disappointment. This made Song Il-jeon lower his head in shame. I have not disgraced Korea. I have killed 3 Longxia people, sir. What? You dared to kill my Longxia beast tamers. Although I had expected it, I still felt a surge of rage inside. Lead the way. I gritted my teeth. Song Il-jeon nodded and walked ahead. He and the bear completely exposed their backs to me and the Centipede Emperor. The next moment, the Centipede Emperor's huge mouth opened and directly bit the giant bear's head, including the man standing on it. The bear's head was ripped off by the Centipede Emperor, then its figure completely disappeared. All swallowed into the Centipede Emperor's belly. A pure stream of demon taming power was fed back to me. In an instant, my level reached 1-star high rank, and even advancing to 2-star was just a step away. This gave me a small thrill inside, finally leveling up. Before, the Centipede Emperor had not been eating enough, so the leveling speed was quite slow. As long as I reached 2-star, I could summon my second magical beast. Then even if I met a 10-star Beast Tamer, they would only be instant killed by me. The Centipede Emperor moved quickly, heading straight toward Bai Xinyue's direction. At this moment, Bai Xinyue and a Longxia Beast Tamer had come to a cave. Little girl, hide here. I will lead them away. Otherwise, they will search here soon. Be careful. Bai Xinyue looked at the middle-aged man before her with concern. It was this Longxia Beast Tamer who had saved her from the battlefield despite being injured. She had been teleported to the battlefield, surrounded by towering high-star beasts fighting. Flashy skills filled the sky. Just as she was about to be hit by a skill, a fox beast saved her. Then a dark-skinned 10-star Beast Tamer appeared in the Korean team. From the moment the 10-star Beast Tamer appeared, the battle turned one-sided. In the end, only the fox escaped with Bai Xinyue. Everyone else died on the road. Do not worry. I am a 7-star Beast Tamer. As long as I do not run into that 10-star guy, I will be fine. The fox forced a smile. His expression was strained. He just wanted to reassure this poor female student. After speaking, the fox turned and left the cave. Then he got on his beast and ran in another direction. A giant black gorilla beast followed closely behind. A tall, dark-skinned man stood on the gorilla's head. He was the American 10-star Beast Tamer, Nige made, and on the beasts behind him stood Korean Beast Tamers. The fox's beast was actually not slow, but because it had been punched by Nige's 10-star black gorilla earlier, it had internal injuries. So not long after running, it spat out blood. This alarmed the fox. Just then, the ground suddenly trembled. The next moment, a black gorilla fell rapidly from the sky. Longxia, surrender and you will not be killed, Nige said with a cold smile. At this moment, I was standing on the Centipede Emperor's head searching for Bai Xinhui. Suddenly, a loud crash caught my attention. Judging by the sound, that beast was at least 10-star. Go check that direction out. First, swallow a couple of 6 or 7-star beasts. Let me advance to 2-star. I said to the Centipede Emperor in my mind. But can your body handle it? Forcing a breakthrough. You will not be able to absorb demon taming power for the next month. The Centipede Emperor asked tentatively. You are my first magical beast. You have followed me for hundreds of years. You should know me. It is just 1 month without absorbing demon taming power. Once I reach 2-star, I will have 2 10-star magical beasts at the same time. Do you think, at this point in time, how many people in this world can be my match? I said, a hint of ruthlessness flashing in my eyes. I understand, the Centipede Emperor said, then accelerated instantly. Its ruthless master was coming back. Earlier, the Centipede Emperor had seen me being so low-key every day, and thought I had changed my temperament after rebirth. It turned out I was just playing it safe for a while. Sigh. Brother Jew is coming back. The ruthless demon tamer ancestor is also coming back. The Centipede Emperor sighed inwardly. In an instant, the Centipede Emperor stopped. Master, there is a group of beasts ahead. It seems the Longxia Beast Tamer who protected Bai Xinhui has been caught up. The Centipede Emperor said, go over and swallow the 2 weakest ones first, so I can reach 2-star. I looked at the giant black gorilla ahead and said coldly. The gorilla's massive body resembled King Kong from the movies, but compared to the Centipede Emperor, it clearly looked less imposing. The Centipede Emperor was extremely fast. The next moment, it appeared directly behind Nige's group. Suddenly, Nije felt a chill down his spine. He turned instantly and saw a 100-meter-tall purple centipede. A young man stood on the centipede's head. Nije spoke first. Are you a Longxia expert? Nije controlled the gorilla to turn around. He looked at me and asked. The other 7 6 and 7-star Korean Beast Tamers also turned around. But the next second, before the 7 could react, the Centipede Emperor directly swallowed 3 of them, completely disregarding martial ethics. They are so easy to swallow. Much cuter than the enemies from the previous life. The Centipede Emperor remarked. I felt the demon taming power forcibly transmitted into my body and let out a long breath, enduring the tearing pain in my muscles. Fuck. Attack. Do not let him escape. Nije shouted. He controlled the gorilla beneath him and leaped into the air. The gorilla formed fists with both hands in the air and came down on me like a mountain. Its 2 huge fists instantly turned red and magma continuously dripped. This was its skill. Magma attachment. Do not underestimate this simple skill. Any skill enhancement from a 10-star beast was terrifying. Stole for time. 3 seconds. I said, feeling the demon taming power continuously being forced into my body. Hearing this, the Centipede Emperor shifted its front half. It changed direction and instantly dodged the gorilla's falling strike. The fists hit the ground, magma splashing everywhere. The 2 huge fists, like small mountains, smashed into the ground. The trees nearby were instantly set ablaze by the splashing magma. The shockwave from the fists uprooted the surrounding trees. The fox was initially overjoyed to see a Longxia expert come to help, but seeing me only being beaten, without any intention of fighting back, his heart gradually grew anxious. What to do? Now his own beast was also injured, and the 10-star predecessor sent by Longxia was stalled by the American. The problem was that no one knew if the Americans had other backup. Senior, be careful. Quickly summon your other beast. First, take out the Beast Tamer on the gorilla's head. The fox reminded me out of good intentions, but his words made Nije realize something. Thank you for the reminder, Nije said. With a wave of his hand, a 100-meter-tall black-skinned lizard appeared. This was Nige's only other 10-star beast, Longxia Beast Tamer. If you only have this one 10-star beast, then I am sorry, you are dead. Nije shouted with a laugh. At this moment, my demon taming power surged, forcing me to advance to 2-star Demon Tamer, unlocking the next demon taming space. The next second, I coldly spoke. Do you think you are the only one with a second 10-star beast? Then I shouted, prison gate, open. Instantly, a giant prison gate with black pillars rose from the ground. A deathly pressure emanated from within. Looking at the prison gate, Nige's heart could not help but feel a pang of panic. The gorilla beneath him also instinctively stepped back. The giant lizard looked warily at the prison gate with black pillars, continuously flicking its tongue. The next second, a piercing sound came from within the prison gate. It was a human language, but the voice did not sound like it should come from a human. Master, you finally remembered me. I am quite seriously injured this time. I need to eat at least 8 or 10 10-star beasts to recover. As the voice fell, a massive dark shadow slowly floated out of the prison gate, 100 meters tall, blotting out the sky. It had no feet and no physical body. Its entire body was composed of black mist, like a giant 3D shadow. Its 2 arms were embedded with 2 huge shadow blades. Its 2 wrists were wrapped in 2 thick black chains. The chains led straight into the prison gate, adding a touch of ferocity. At its heart, a slow-turning vortex of black mist could be seen. This was my second demon tamer, 10-star Shadow Demon. The moment it appeared, the surrounding air dropped a few degrees. Master, you are recultivating again. Do you need me to kill this little centipede for you first? I have not eaten centipede legs in a long time. The shadow was first surprised. Then it looked greedily at the Centipede Emperor. The Centipede Emperor instinctively tightened its rear. All its legs contracted. No need. Clear the field first. I will explain the rest later. Oh, right. That fox beast and the person in Longxia military uniform are allies, I added after speaking, afraid that it might kill our own people too. And the shadow demon did not seem like a creature that should exist in this world. It was like a soul, a spiritual being, immune to all physical attacks, and its attack struck directly at the soul. But its greatest hobby in the past was to casually cut off a few centipede legs as snacks. What kind of beast is that? Nige looked at the giant shadow opposite, trembling inside. His mind was already numb. It was the natural fear of the unknown. He had never seen such a beast, even in the secret American military files. Is this really something that should exist in this world? You are just food. Why so many questions? The shadow demon snorted. The next moment, it appeared beside the gorilla. The giant shadow blade on its arm had already passed through the gorilla's neck, and the gorilla had not even reacted. The giant lizard tried to attack the shadow demon to save the gorilla and rescue its master Nige, but it was overthinking. The shadow demon flickered again. It appeared above the giant lizard and stabbed downward with its shadow blade. The giant lizard's eyes widened, and the 100-meter-tall beast collapsed weakly to the ground. Instantly, Nige clutched his head and screamed. The shadow demon stood in the void and swung its arm. The blade passed through Nige's body. Like eating a Western meal, it skewered him on the blade tip and slowly brought him to its mouth. But all of this happened in just a single breath. However, the 4 Korean beast tamers who had been about to help Nige saw this and panicked completely. Run! The 4 beast tamers were terrified. They commanded their beasts to flee in all directions. Each went a different way. North, south, east, west. To increase their chances of survival. But it was all in vain. Without waiting for the shadow demon to act, the Centipede Emperor directly used the space wormhole skill. Like a gluttonous snake with cheats. One bite at a time. It must be said, the Centipede Emperor's skill was simply a divine skill for both escape and pursuit. The shadow demon did not even look at the Centipede Emperor. They were an old magical beast combination that had worked together for years. And basic Mortzi was still there. And my other 9 magical beasts were responsible for dealing with powerful opponents. While this little brother Centipede Emperor could only pick off the weakest scraps, every time the Centipede Emperor could get a sip of soup like this. After the battle, the shadow demon used its giant shadow blade to cut and divide the 2 10-star beasts. As it continuously fed pieces of meat into its mouth, the shadow mist at its heart kept accelerating its rotation and expanding, like a human heart, beating more powerfully. Master, the shadow demon said respectfully to me, "You are not full, are you?" I asked with concern. Yes, mainly because recovering from injuries requires too much energy. If I had 10 more 10-star beasts, that should be about right. The shadow demon raised its arm and flipped it over for me. On the arm formed by the black shadow, there was actually a hollow dozens of meters long. This was a penetrating wound. Your injury is still considered light. Xiaolong and the others were injured the most. But in the end, we still contracted that thing. I glanced at the wound on the shadow demon's arm and said slowly, "As for other questions, let the Centipede Emperor tell you. I am going to check on that Longxia Beast Tamer," I said, jumping down from the Centipede Emperor's head and slowly walking toward the fox. At this moment, the fox was already terrified. He had never seen such terrifying beasts. And 2 at once. At this moment he kept asking himself, "Who am I? Where am I? Is he really a Longxia Beast Tamer? And that Centipede and Shadow, what kind of beasts were they? Why could they instantly kill Nige's 2 10-star beasts?" The 3-tailed white fox beneath him was also trembling, instinctively wanting to assume a defensive posture. But its violently trembling body revealed its panicked heart. Both the man and the beast knew I was a Longxia Beast Tamer, but they just could not suppress the fear in their hearts. Seeing me approach, the fox quickly put his beast away. "Are you all right?" I walked up to him and patted his shoulder. "I am fine, senior," the fox stammered. Being patted on the shoulder made him feel honored. "Do not be nervous. What is your name?" I looked up and down at the crew-cut middle-aged man before me. "Reporting, sir. My name is Zhang Tai, codename Fox. I am the squad leader of Class 5 of the Halian 210 Beast Domain Pioneering Unit." Zhang Tai stood at attention, standing straight. What about the others? You retreated from the front line, right? Do not be so formal. Take your time. Yes, sir. The front line. The front line has been occupied by Korea and America. A large number of unknown beasts appeared there. I suspect they are magical beasts. Classes 1 to 5 all died in battle. I became a deserter to protect a student who had accidentally wandered into the battlefield. Please punish me, sir, Zhang Tai said. Tears as big as beans burst out. He gritted his teeth, his mind full of images of his teammates sacrificing themselves bravely. Sir, that student is hidden in a cave. She is safe now. Zhang Ti added, all right, I understand. You go to the cave and pick her up, then return to the nearest station. I waved my hand and nodded in instruction. What about you? I'm going to get your dignity back. From now on, this fused beast domain will be ruled by Wang Qian. After speaking, I turned and jumped onto the Centipede Emperor's head. The Centipede Emperor instantly accelerated and rushed to the front line at top speed. Soon it arrived at the battlefield. The ground was a dull grey, covered in scorched trees and battle trenches from the fighting. Occasionally, the bones of beasts could be seen on the ground. At this moment, I stood on the Centipede Emperor's head, looking toward the camp with smoke rising in the distance. That was the camp just built by the American and Korean beast tamers. Seeing this, my anger surged instantly. I directly summoned my second magical beast. Then I shouted, "Prison gate, open." Instantly, a giant prison gate with black pillars rose from the ground. A deathly pressure emanated from within. This was my second 10-star magical beast, the Dark Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon. Go deal with it. Be careful. They are probably eating, leave no survivors. I looked coldly toward the camp and added, use your skill, finish quickly, and we will take a tour of Korea. Thinking about eating even at death's door. The Shadow Demon snorted. The next moment, its figure appeared above the camp. Its shadow blade was raised to the sky, piercing into the clouds. Instantly, the sky for dozens of miles around darkened. The rumbling sound was deafening, as if the sky was shattering. Thunder continuously struck the clouds. Each rumble shook people's hearts. Darkness loomed over the Korean camp. As the Shadow Demon continued to gather power, its sky-covering aura spread continuously. The remaining personnel in the Korean camp also sensed something was wrong. The next moment, 2 9-star beasts rushed out of the camp. They charged straight at the Shadow Demon, but the Shadow Demon was naturally immune to physical attacks. The 2 9-star beasts passed directly through the Shadow Demon's body. They landed, looking completely confused, and looked at each other. What happened? Confusion rose in the hearts of the two beasts. This was also their first time encountering such a situation. Try using skills. A shout came from the Korean camp. It was the voice of their Beast Tamer. The 2 9-star beasts' eyes lit up upon hearing this. Energy began to gather within their bodies. The next moment, a huge fireball and a stone arrow both attacked the Shadow Demon. Trash skills. The Shadow Demon snorted, speaking human language. What is going on? What is this thing? Why does it speak Longxia? The Korean beast tamers in the camp were all shocked. The fireball and stone arrow were very fast and carried a whistling sound as they flew. No matter what you are, you cannot remain intact under the attack of 2 9-star beasts. The 9-star beast tamer in the Korean camp snorted coldly. He was also a top expert in Korea. Although the Shadow Demon's appearance was terrifying, this could not break the confidence he had built as a long-time top existence. But the next second, his confidence was gone. The fireball hit the Shadow Demon. Although it exploded, it was like scratching an itch for the Shadow Demon. And the stone arrow passed straight through the Shadow Demon into the clouds. Other than covering me in flames, what else can you do? The Shadow Demon's skill had already finished gathering. It used its free hand to brush off the remaining flames. The Korean 9-star Beast Tamer reacted fairly quickly. Seeing that this attack had not harmed the Shadow Demon, he knew he could not fight it. Run. He shouted and took the lead in fleeing. Feel the power of darkness, concentrated thunder. The Shadow Demon snorted. Its arm suspended in the sky fell directly. The shadow blade on its arm was like a switch, cutting through the black sky. With a loud crash, a black lightning bolt struck the fleeing 9-star Beast Tamer above the Korean camp. He had been running for his life, and was directly reduced to ashes by the black thunder from the sky. Then the black sky seemed to spring a leak. Countless thunderbolts poured down on the Korean camp the next moment. The black thunder was as dense as raindrops. The remaining Korean beast tamers had no way to escape. After a few breaths, the darkness receded. Light returned to the earth, but the former Korean camp was bare, as if it had never existed. It disappeared from this world along with the receding darkness. Sigh, my injuries are too severe. I cannot use more powerful moves. The Shadow Demon looked at the black scorched earth on the ground and sighed. I was already standing on the Centipede Emperor's head, and came before the Shadow Demon. It is okay. When we get back, I will try to buy you some medicine to speed up recovery. I comforted. If only there were magical beasts. Those would be truly great nourishment. The Shadow Demon nodded first, then muttered. This beast domain should have magical beasts, but it is currently in the fusion stage. The magical beast could be anywhere in the domain. It all depends on luck. Let us go. Let us continue exploring toward Korea. this camp was only temporary. When we encounter the real Korean camp, if we are lucky, there might be some healing medicine inside to recover from injuries. I said slowly, standing on the Centipede Emperor's head,